They say curiosity kills the cat, but for Mark Hensley, curiosity didn't kill him, it invited something else into his home. It started with a soft knock. 3 times. From his basement door. But what was knocking? Was never supposed to exist. Don't forget to subscribe, because this story will make you think twice before checking that sound in the dark. Mark Hensley lived alone on the edge of town, in an old colonial house he'd inherited from his late uncle. It was one of those places that always felt cold, even when the heater was on. Peeling wallpaper. Floors that moaned when you walked. And a basement no one had opened in years. He never believed in ghosts. Not until that night. It was late October, the wind howling through the trees, rain pounding the windows, when he heard it for the first time. Knock. 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 He muted the TV. Sat still. The sound came again, faint, but clear. He frowned, listening. Not the front door. Not the kitchen. Then it hit him. It was coming from below, from the basement. A chill crawled up his spine. His uncle's words echoed in his head. Never open that basement, Mark. Some doors aren't meant to be opened. He used to laugh when he heard that, but tonight, the laugh died somewhere in his throat. Mark stood at the basement door. His hand hovered over the knob. Hello? He called softly. Nothing. The whole house went quiet. Even the rain outside seemed to hold its breath. He turned to leave, and then, knock. 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 Louder this time. His pulse quickened. He grabbed a flashlight and slowly opened the basement door. A rush of cold, damp air hit his face, smelling of rust, earth, and something faintly rotten. He shone the beam down the stairs. Anyone there? No response. Just silence. He took one careful step down. Then another. The wooden stairs creaked beneath his weight. Halfway down, the knocking stopped. He froze. His breath came shallow. Then, out of the darkness, a whisper, soft, barely audible. Mark. He nearly dropped the flashlight. That was his name. Who's there? He shouted, voice shaking. The whisper vanished. He reached the basement floor, light shaking in his hand. Empty. Just old furniture, boxes, and cobwebs. Then he saw it. Deep scratch marks carved into the far wall. Not random. They were long. Desperate. Like fingernails clawing from the inside. He backed away. The flashlight flickered once. Then again. Don't die now. Please, not now. He muttered to himself. And then, knock. 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 From behind him. He spun around. The basement door, at the top of the stairs, was closed. Something was on the other side, knocking to come in. Panic surged. He sprinted up the steps, heart pounding, slamming into the door and yanking it open. The hallway was empty. Silence. He locked the door and stood there, chest heaving. Maybe it was a trick. Maybe the wind. Maybe his imagination. But then, the knocking started again, only this time. Not from below, from behind him. Mark turned slowly. The basement door was still locked. But the air around him was suddenly cold, unnaturally cold. He raised the flashlight, and froze. Wet, muddy handprints. Dozens of them, leading away from the basement door, down the hall. Into the living room. He followed them, every step heavier than the last. The prince stopped at the old mirror above the fireplace. For a moment, he only saw himself, pale, shaking. Then his reflection smiled, but Mark didn't. The mirror rippled, like water disturbed by a stone, and a voice whispered from inside it. You shouldn't have opened the door. The glass cracked. Mark stumbled back, hitting the floor. When he looked up, his reflection was gone. Only blackness stared back. Then, from the basement, knock. 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 Faster. Harder. Almost angry. And beneath it, a faint, desperate voice. Let me out. That was enough. Mark bolted out of the house, barefoot, soaked in rain. He didn't stop running until the house was nothing but a dark shape behind him. When the police arrived the next morning, the place was empty. The basement door was still locked, but when they broke it open, on the wall, carved deep into the concrete, was a single word repeated over and over again. Mark. And ever since, Neighbors say that at midnight, when the wind is still, you can still hear 3 knocks from below. Knock. 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 So, if you ever hear knocking from somewhere it shouldn't be, don't open the door, because sometimes what's knocking already knows your name. Subscribe for more dark stories that'll keep your lights on tonight.